welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host, Jennifer. This week's videos are a little out of order. On Monday, I usually do a video showing you what I have made over the past week, and we talk about, like, I don't know, just stuff. What's been going on and all that. I did not have time to record this video before Monday, so I knew that I wouldn't have a video released on Monday. Because usually, like, I pre-record my videos, you guys know this, and I schedule them throughout the week. Normally, Mondays is, you know, me talking and me showing you what I've made and what I'm working on, what I'm doing. And since I didn't record that previously, and I knew after Thursday's video with my my health issues in regards to the vaccination I received, I was getting a lot of people who were worried about me, and so I knew if I didn't release a video on Monday, or if I released it late, I would have, like, a lot of people in panic. And so I hurried up and I put the Dollar Tree video together that I was working on, and I uploaded that for Monday. So this is technically Monday's video, but I'm recording it on Monday, well after the Dollar Tree video has already aired. So, okay, why? The question is why? Why was I late? Well, I had other stuff going on. I didn't have time to record. I also, Mr. Cinnamon, you know that we have another channel called Lilo N Stitches, and it is always linked below in the description box if you're curious. It is a channel based on our travels, mostly to Disney World, and informative informations about Disney World. That is Mr. Cinnamon's ultimate passion. It was his idea for the channel, and because I'm so busy on Cinnamon Stitches, I've kind of let him take creative hold of that channel, and he made a video singularly without me. And I got quite a few emails and or comments and posts in the Facebook group with people concerned. They were worried about me after Thursday's video. I'm okay, don't worry, I'm fine. After Thursday's video, after talking about that, we actually did contact the doctor. The doctor wanted me to come in if my symptoms were still, I don't know, if they were still bothering me. And so Mr. Cinnamon took the initiative and booked me an appointment with the doctor. And I told him the next morning I woke up and I was like, I gotta go to the doctor today. I don't want to go to the doctor today. I feel fine. The swelling is pretty much gone. I have no pain. So I will say this. The swelling and pain lasted from Saturday when I got the vaccination all the way through until Thursday evening and kind of Friday morning. But, like, it was a lot better Friday morning, and I feel completely fine today as of Monday. So it wasn't quite a full week, and I feel fine. We're good. And a lot of you have written to me and told me that it is a normal occurrence with the vaccine, and I actually did know that already. I did look up and research on the internet before I discussed it with you guys, but, you know, whatever. I'm fine. No, the swelling has gone. I don't have any weird lump here anymore. My underarm looks normal, so we're good. We're good. It's all good. I'm back to crocheting and knitting and being my happy self. As you can see, my knit blanket is coming along swimmingly. I'm not going to show it to you, but that is my fourth skein, my fourth Premier Puzzle skein. This is going to be the next color that goes in, so that's just a preview of what I'm doing with that. It takes me a couple of days to get through a skein. I mean, if I sat and I worked all day, I could get through one skein in a day, no problem, but that's not realistic. So I've been working on this colorway for a couple days now. It should probably be done in the next couple of days, so figure a skein a week, give or take. But in between doing that, I started and finished another blanket, because apparently I crochet really fast. I couldn't believe how fast this was, and I did not weave in the end, so I got, if you see strings, ignore them. But I made another blanket. This is another, it's lapcan sized. I'm going to say it covers my whole body when I'm sitting down. I have to show it to you in sections. That is the center. And then after about here, once again, I had an issue with this pattern. I found this pattern for free on the internet. It is from a major yarn company, and there were errors. I am finding that, especially with patterns in the round, errors. I don't think some of these pattern writers understand how crocheting in a circle works, because every time I follow a pattern in the round, with the exception of my favorite in the round pattern, which I found from an old book that I've discussed in the past, because I made this beautiful circular baby blanket, all of the patterns have too many increases. And so what happens when you have too many increases is you start to get wobbling and like where it folds over on itself. And the way to for certain tell that is if you fold the circle in half and it goes up instead of straight across. So if it has the correct amount of increases, it will be straight across like this. So it will be an exact half of circle. But most of the in the round patterns do this. And had I not stopped that pattern here, it would have been frogged because it was just increasing and increasing and increasing. And I knew right away that they had too many increases in it because they started off with your normal increases in this area, and then up here when they started the bobbles, they started the increase pattern all over again. So when you're doing an increase here, you'll have like 6, and then you'll do 12, so you'll double it. And then for the next row, you'll have 18 because you will do just 1 double crochet and then 2 double crochet together, and then just 1 and then 2 double, and on and on. They started the pattern over again here. And so I was like, okay, well, that's just too many increases, too many increases, too many. And it just kept on and on. And so then I was like, we're going to do this Cinnamon Stitches way, and we're going to just fudge it. We're just going to fudge it. And so what I learned from this amazing pattern that is in Stitch by Stitch by, I can't read what that says. Anyway, the book is Stitch by Stitch, Volume 2. I have mentioned this book in the past. There's a beautiful round pattern. Now, when I first read this in the round pattern in the Stitch by Stitch book, not this pattern, they get to like 11 increases or 11 double crochets and then an increase, and 11 double crochets and an increase. At that section of the pattern, they start doing an increase and a decrease in every row. So when you increase somewhere like 5 stitches later, you do a decrease. And I was like, how does this work? Because then it just equals out the stitches. It's like you didn't increase or decrease in that row. So that didn't make sense to me, but it worked in the pattern and it didn't get all wobbly. And so ever since I learned that technique, when I work in the round, I somehow find a way to incorporate that into my in the round patterns when it starts to wobble. And that's exactly what I did with this. So instead of doing the increase and a decrease, because I moved from the bobbles to granny stitches. And then from that, I moved to this, I don't know what it is. It's just, it was me messing around. So I took the math of it, and I would do a row with some increases, and then the next row I would just do straight. I wouldn't increase or decrease. And that way it kind of like evens out the stitches a little bit instead of doing the increase and the decrease. So I think it turned out beautiful. It is huge. It's very big. It's very big. Let's see. It is about 5'6" because it's not quite my wingspan. So it's about 5'6", maybe 5'5". And this yarn was so much fun to work with. So much fun to work with. It is 3 different colorways of the Premier Just Yarn flowers that I know nobody can get anymore. This yarn was available at the Dollar Tree for a time, and it came and went very quickly because everybody was like freaking out about this yarn, and they bought it all up, including me. So I planned on using all of it. I didn't use any of this colorway. This is the colorway Peach. I didn't use any of the peach, so I have 5 of these, and I have 5 blue, and I have this one, which is Bouquet, I think. Bouquet. So I have this little tiny part of a skein of the Bouquet. left. I thought I was going to use it all, but you guys, this box was full and now it's not. So I got rid of almost an entire box, 3/4 of a box of yarn on this blanket. So that to me is a huge success. And now I have room on my shelves for the yarn that I just purchased last week from And That or the Christmas tree shops. And then, side note, new stitch marker. I should probably take this off. New stitch marker. Little pumpkin. My daughter has decided to take up beadwork. Now, put this over here so I don't lose it. The first thing that she made me, now here's how this went, okay? She was like, Mom, I want to make earrings. And I said, okay, so make earrings. She goes, well, I need the supplies. I was like, okay, well, you know, we'll go get some supplies. She has her own money. She has her own bank account. She's 15. I have taught her how to manage her money and all that at a very young age because no one taught me to manage money. And when me and Mr. Cinnamon were young and first starting out, we didn't know what we were doing at all with money. And so we messed up a lot. And so I don't want that for my kids. So I teach them very young how to manage, how to save, how to work a bank account, how to not overdraw their bank account. So, yeah. So she had a little bit of money and she's like, okay, well, can we go to look for beads? And I was like, yeah. And, you know, earring hooks. She likes the French hook style, you know, the ones that just loop in. I don't wear earrings. I had my ears pierced when I was little. I have not worn earrings in at least 15 years, possibly 20 years. I did wear earrings on our wedding day. I had to re-pierce my ears to get them, you know, because it'd been so long. I just don't wear jewelry. I'm not a makeup and jewelry kind of girl at all. So I was like, yeah, let's go to Michael's. And the reason I wanted to go to Michael's is because I watch Rose Likes Crochet, and Rose is always talking about the beads she gets at Michael's, and she gets some really beautiful beads. And so I was like, well, let's go to Michael's. And she's okay. And she's adding up in the cart, you know, she's doing her little calculations to see how much money she spent, because she only had like $20, $30 in the bank, something like that. And I was like, well, I like these beads. Can you make me stitch markers out of these beads? And she's like, yeah. I was like, well, I like these beads. Like, if I buy them, will you make stitch markers for me? She's like, yeah. I said, and if there's any beads left over, you know, because I don't need like 8 beads, you know, and I don't use the real long dangly ones because they tend to snag on my work and they kind of get in the way. And so I really like the really short, like simple stitch markers. And so we picked her up some supplies, and when we got to the cash register, she's like, you know, worried. She's like, I don't have enough money for this one. I don't have enough money for this one. I was like, baby, I'm just going to invest in your business, okay? I'm just going to invest. Just give me all the beads that we bought. I will purchase them. Because I figured this way. I'm buying beads. I want her to work for me and make me some stitch markers. Like, I'm just going to buy her beads for her, and that's payment for the work she does, you know? No big deal. So we got home with her beads and her supplies, and instead of making herself earrings, the first thing she makes me, and I showed this in a video, is this stitch marker right here, which is beautiful. It's got the little lobster claw thing. And then after that, she made me a turtle one, and then she made me a seahorse one. That was pretty. And by the way, I made this. It's not as pretty as the one I got from Jennifer, but it's, you know, it does the job. So I did not intend on using this as a stitch marker holder. I actually intended this on being hung up on my front door or somewhere like that. I hung the stitch markers on there because I was working on this when she was working on the beads, and that way they were kept safe and I didn't lose them. So then she goes on, she makes herself some earrings. She made the dogs little charms for their collars, so they have beads, but she used like the the cheap plastic dollar store beads, which also I showed you some of the beads that she got from the dollar store, because we also went to the dollar store and she got some beads. She purchased her own beads at the dollar store. So she got herself some plastics and made the dogs stitch markers or charms for their necklace. And then this girl's been busy all weekend. But I'm going to tell you, I'm like so happy because I've been trying to get her to craft forever. I've been trying to like expose her to as many crafts as possible to get her something she's interested in, because she's constantly bored. I can't stand watching my kids be bored. Like, that drives me crazy. Like, get up and do something. I'm not somebody that just sits around, and I cannot waste time. It drives me crazy. Get up and do something. I have given her, she has access to all the yarn. I've tried to teach her to crochet. It didn't take. She hates it. She doesn't like it. Tried to teach her to knit. She doesn't even want to touch the knitting needles. I tried getting her into weaving because she has weaved a couple of things for me. She's just not into yarn crafts. I gave her the latch hook set from Hirschner's for Christmas. Hasn't even cracked it open. She's not interested in yarn crafts at all, which breaks my heart a little bit. But that's okay. We finally found her a craft she loves. She's having so much fun with us. So then she made me, because you guys know, I don't know if you guys know this or not, I have a tattoo on my leg for her. It's a rather large tattoo, but in the tattoo is a ladybug. And that's because my friend that did the tattoo, she called her Juju Bug. And even though I call her Juju Bee, the ladybug, she was born in June. She's a summer baby. Like, the ladybug just kind of represents her, and the bumblebee. So she made me, these are knitting stitch markers. They're ladybugs. See, I got the knitting thing. Ladybugs. I think these are so cute. I love her choice of like the divider beads and stuff she adds. I like the little extra details that she gives to those. So she made me those. She's going big on the knitting stitch markers. She also made me these, which there is a fourth one, but it is currently on that. And these are just little plastic beads, but I love them because they're so lightweight. They don't snag on my stuff. I don't mind that they're plastic. I actually saw these and I was like, yep, I need those. So she made me those. And then she made me this one. That was just her testing out her glass beads. And then I picked these out. I fell in love with these beads. I don't have to show you all 5 of them. There's 5 of these. And these again are knitting. And I asked for a set of 5 of these because when I knit the Ross hat, or I knit a hat, I need 5 to 6 stitch markers for that. And the 6th one will usually be like the starting row one. So I will put in one that's totally different so that I know that that's the beginning of the row. And then I will do the 5 or 6 around. So I asked for a set of 5 of these. And these are like roses. They're so pretty. I fell so in love with these beads. And then she put little green pearls on the bottom. And pearl is her birthstone. So aren't these beautiful? These are my favorite stitch markers of all time. And like I said, she made me a set of 5. Isn't that pretty? I love that the pearls are green because it accents the green in the flowers. I just think those are so pretty. So my girl's been busy. So mommy's got all these cute little stitch markers to work with, stitch and crochet, or knit and crochet. My girl's been doing it. So I told her keep practicing, and maybe she can put her earrings and stitch markers up for sale on Etsy. So, but she's going to have her own Etsy. It's not going to have nothing to do with me because I don't want to have to. That needs to be her managing her own money. That has nothing to do with mama. So, but of course, if she does put some in her Etsy, I'm going to promote it because I support my kid. It's just something to look forward to in the future. I think it'd be really cool if she got a little side hustle, side job She really enjoys that, and that's all that I care about, is that she found a craft that she actually really enjoys. And she's been taking, we got her, I had some extra storage containers in the kitchen. We had to clean out the kitchen, and when we did that, I took everything out of the pantry and I put it into plastic bins, and I stored it in a big plastic tubs so we could clean out, because our pantry used to be where the washer and dryer, when we first bought this house, they had the washer and dryer in the kitchen in a pantry with doors that closed. And that did not work for me, because having clothes pile up on the floor in front of the washer and dryer in the kitchen, it didn't work for me. And there's not a lot of storage in my kitchen. So we converted that back into a pantry, which is what it was supposed to be to begin with, and moved the washer and dryer into the garage so that all the laundry is out there and I ain't got to look at it, you know. So every once in a while we go in there and we do like a deep clean. Well, I do a deep clean. And so I took everything out and put it in plastic bins. So I had extra plastic bins from the Dollar Tree. They were just storage containers that I just stacked everything in, put it in a big Tupperware container, got that all cleaned out, you know. This was some time ago, but I still had the storage containers. So I brought out some of the storage containers for her so she could store her beads and stuff in there. And then the Dollar Tree had a ton of like little plastic storage containers, which is awesome for what she's doing. And so she's got everything all neat and organized, and she takes her little plastic tub with all her little extra plastic tubs in there, and she takes it out in the backyard, and like I'll crochet or knit, and she'll be like doing her little beading work at the table, and she's completely content. I love that. So happy. What else was I going to talk about? I think that's it. Because I finished this, but I showed you this. Oh, that smells so good. I finished this beautiful thing. Then I made this one. I'm working on that one, and I think I'm going to start another crochet blanket, honestly. I'm just in a blanket kind of mood. I'm not really in the mood for wearables. The pattern to this will be released very soon. Hopefully by the end of the month. We've had a lot of issues getting that tested. It's not against the people I sent it to. There's just been unforeseen circumstances that have popped up. And at one point, all 3 of my testers emailed me on the same day and said that they're sorry, and then something was going on in their life or something, like they hadn't had time. And I don't care. I'm not in a hurry. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, hurry, I need to get it released. I'm just like, I know you guys want the pattern for this. It's being tested. It's like, life happens, you know. Not a big deal to me. I'm not one of those people that's like, you know, I'm not a hard ass at all. I'm just go with the flow. Like, I know that stuff happens. Stuff happens, you know. No big deal to me whatsoever. And I haven't had time to sit and do a few little tweaks on it that need to be done either. So it's just as much me as everyone else. No big deal. But hopefully that will be released by the end of the month. If not, we'll do it as an April 1st thing. And no, it's not going to be a joke. But if you plan on purchasing this pattern, it will be in my Etsy shop soon. And after seeing some of the testers work on it with worsted weight yarn, I really think it would probably be better with a lightweight 3. Like Karen, what is the name of Karen's yarn? Why can I not think of it? You know, the shiny stuff. It says it's a worsted 4, but it's not really. That kind of yarn works really good for this pattern. The thicker yarn doesn't look as good to me, so I'm going to say probably I would suggest a number 3. And a lot of yardage. I think it's 800 yards to make that. So if you had a lot of yards of a lightweight yarn, you can make it a thicker yarn too. This would be really pretty in cotton. I should totally make one in cotton. Because Lord knows I got some cotton cakes back there. Anyway, I think that's it for today. We got some other stuff to show you. I have, we're going to talk about Knitcrate this week. There's been some changes going on. We're going to discuss that. I also have a purchase from Good Loops I want to show you. And yeah, also, depending on when the yarn comes in, we're going to be discussing some of the new yarns at Premier Yarns. I ordered some cotton. I have lots of opinions on that cotton, and we're going to share that. I'm going to actually show 3 different cottons in that video, so it'll be a contrast and compare type thing of the 3 cottons. As soon as the yarn comes in, I ordered it. It hasn't been fulfilled yet, so that might not be till next week now. I mean, that's just realistic. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. I'm looking around because I thought I had something else to talk about. We're also going to discuss Dollar Tree stuff. The stuff I purchased at the Dollar Tree, we're going to get a review on that. And I think that's the next blanket I want to make is the chenille cotton. Not cotton. The just chenille from the Dollar Tree. I think I'm going to make a little blanket out of that too. I think so. All right, guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye.